Hey guys, welcome back to Beautifully You.
Beautiful you.
We are so excited to be back. Blaine's knee keeps hitting my foot and it's making me overstimulated.
Shaky,
Um,
shaky, shaky.
so we're back.
We're
Where have you
back.
been this weekend? Where'd we go? What happened? What all did we see?
We saw an art museum this
We
weekend.
went to an art museum. So we went to a little place I like to call Montgomery, Alabama.
It was amazing.
One of our really, really, really good friends, Savannah Hill, moved to Faulkner, and she's gonna be starting there. If you're going to Faulkner or you live in Montgomery, look out for her, reach out, make sure she feels all the love and support that she deserves. She's gonna do so many great things, and I was excited that we got to go be a part of that weekend for her. Um, yeah. So what all did we do?
Well, like I said, we went to an art
An
museum
art museum.
and we went to Bama Fever and got us some nice Alabama shirts, not Auburn shirts.
No, I introduced
Anyway,
him to the fact that no, it's not Alabama. It's Alabama Fever Tiger Pride is split. Half the story is Auburn, half the story is Alabama, and you stay
that's
on your
right.
side. You stay on your side. It was interesting to go back and see those because we don't have these here in Georgia. We don't.
No, no,
So
because everybody here likes the dogs. Anyway,
yeah.
um,
But we just kind of branched out, hung out, saw some familiar faces, ate some good food, played some games.
we played a game called what was it?
Hues and cues.
Q's and Q's, the color game.
Our friend Madison went and got it, and we played it, and it honestly was being really fun. At first, I wasn't sure what it was even about, but we did that,
I won
and he
the
won.
first
He
time.
was so good at that game. It's basically like you get a color, and it's like a chart, a color chart, and you get like one of the blocks, and you have to like give a one word and then a two-word clue and see who can get closer to it.
Mhm.
Anyway, so that was that. We left Saturday and then came home Sunday, and
Got to
now
work,
went to work.
and now we get to plan for the new youth
So we have
thing
a
we
new
got
thing
going on.
coming up. I kind of want to do a quick little intro, and then we'll get into the details. The quick little intro on it is sometimes a lot of people and kids feel like the jump from kids' class rotations to middle school, high school class is very dramatic. When I say that, I mean there's a lot that goes on, and there's not enough prep time to make these kids feel like they're ready to go into those older grade classes. And in school, it's not a big deal. But at church, there's a different dynamic between where you have K through fifth grade classes doing rotations, and a lot of churches do that. A lot of churches don't too. That's okay. Stop moving. I get so distracted.
But it's not because we want to change it as much as it's because the kids have made it obvious they want the change.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a few come back and be like, I just want to feel like a kid again. And you want them to want to be excited about the next step and advancing in their biblical education, you know. We're still handling kids at this point with the fifth graders and the sixth graders too. We've got sixth graders that come back and they're just like, I just want to hang out in y'all's class because it's fun. The reality of it is, and I'll let you go into more detail on this, the reality of it is they aren't ready for that advanced detail. They're not ready for the in-depth study because they don't know how to study. Because we don't, I know I for sure didn't even think to do this when we were teaching in the rotation. They aren't learning how to, do Bible journaling or fill out notes or ask the right questions. Because when I was in sixth grade going into an older class, I was like really scared because, you don't want to get you. Sixth graders at that point, they're wondering what everybody that's older than them is thinking about what they said. And I'll let you expand on that perspective of it.
So, what we've noticed in the youth group, obviously, we're not the age of the youth group, but we've been in the class, sat in on the class,
Mhm.
and the younger part of the generation of the youth group, I mean, really just sixth grade, you're just starting.
Mhm.
They don't know they're taking notes. They, at least at Piedmont Road, we go from teaching them Bible stories almost to you get an in-depth
Oh, yeah.
30-minute lesson and you're sitting there and
Yeah.
doing a whole lot of nothing except listening and, taking in information. But it's a big jump. And so what we've came up with is a class that teaches them rather, hey, guess what? You're an adult now. This
Mm,
is how to
not adult.
child a young adult. Hey, you're a young adult now. It teaches them instead how to do the things in the youth group class. Like, for example, taking notes or even just quoting scripture to add on to what the teacher's saying or the youth minister is saying.
I kind of want to add, in our church specifically, my dad teaches the teenagers a lot. And when he does some really good in-depth classes. I think the problem is the middle school and high school is combined right now because of the way numbers sit. And I know a lot of churches have this situation where sometimes it's not enough to have two different classes. So you're teaching them on a higher level. Dad's lessons are great, but we got to prep those kids to know how to go in there and how to not, like Blaine said, those kids feel like they're just going in there and sitting and do nothing. The reality of it is, you got to know how to interact in class to make it where you're not just doing nothing. Listening, yeah, it might feel like you're just sitting there and listening when you're in an older class, but if you know how to take notes, you know how to listen for bullet points, and you pay attention, it's giving them the resources in their brain and physical resources to listen and kind of teaching them what to listen for. Some of the resources we're going to give them is fill in the blank, like a 3-2-1 chart. Three things I learned, two things I'm still unsure about, and one thing that stuck out the most. And you just teach them, and we're going to do that with the lessons that are taught in that class. We're going to do a fifth and sixth grade class, and we're going to teach them how to do more than just listen.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And what else?
Another thing that we've been spending a lot of Wednesday afternoons up here talking with other teachers, having little, conversations about, do we all think this is a good idea? Do we think this is needed? It is very much needed. It does not mean that our parents and our teachers right now are not doing what they need to be doing. It gives the kids a comfortability step. So you're not just jumping from the rotation to these higher level classes. You're getting taught how to, so you're confident. I think the big goal we have a little chart on our wall already in that room that it's like our goal is not to just know who God is, it's to get to know God in confidence. So we want to teach them how to be confident in asking their questions. That's why we're going to do the 3-2-1 thing. Three questions, or you're like three questions, or three things that stood out, two questions. Those you're going to find questions and ask them confidently. And we're just going to make sure that they have no hesitation going in and sitting with those older kids because you want them to interact really well.
We want them to lose the embarrassment factor
Yeah.
of interacting in the class. We've noticed that plenty of times. A lot of younger kids will feel like, oh, I want to be cool in front of the
Mm-hmm.
older kids. And then they won't answer questions
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the times they feel like, oh, this might be kind of embarrassing that I know all these facts. It's really not.
Uh-huh.
Everybody in that class wants you to know the Bible. There's not a
Mm-hmm.
single person that doesn't. And if somebody is judging you in that class, they probably need to be pulled aside and told not to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the intention is to teach them to take notes, listen better, really interact in the class, less in just questions, but even answering questions that the teacher provides. Like Paul does that all the time. He'll ask questions that sound, what's the word?
I don't know what you're saying.
Sound like you're not actually supposed to answer them, but
Rhetorical?
yeah, rhetorical, but he wants the answer from you, and then I see it all the time. He stands there silent for a few seconds, and then everybody's hesitating, and then he answers the question himself.
Because you don't want to leave the classroom quiet. Like
Mhm.
eventually it's like, okay, we know you're not going to answer, so we do that too sometimes. Um, but anyway, yeah.
And so what the solution really is teach the kids to do that. I mean, we have to teach them in the youth group to go out and serve anyway, so might as well teach them how to do youth group, how
Yeah.
to be in a class, and not even just youth group, but it preps them for like Sunday morning, Sunday nights, if they don't even go to the youth group and they go to a class, or even at Exposure, they have classes. A lot of people at Exposure don't take notes in classes, they just sit in them.
And then exposure or at exposure, I believe if I'm correct, it starts at 6th grade. So we're prepping these kids to go into team time, um, ready and prepared to listen, to interact, and to confidently share what they're thinking. We don't want these kids to just, because here's the reality of it. Teachers of Bible class, teachers of some classes at Exposure do like interaction. Teachers of team time or team leaders, they want your interaction. They want these kids to be so overly confident in what they're going to say, what they're thinking, because that's how you gain confidence by pretending like you're confident sometimes. Sometimes
Mhm.
if you just fake it till you make it with your confidence. Now, I don't want that to be in like a boastful way of confidence. I mean, you are so in tune with your spiritual mindset at 5th and 6th grade as much as you can because they're still young. Um, but they're getting to that point where they're getting older and they're starting to build that like big foundation of I know how to interact in class. I know how to fill that silence. I know there's a handful of the kids that were in our youth group here that hate awkward silence. And so
Mhm.
they say something because you'll have those kids who feel like they've answered every question, but I want that to be all of our kids. I want all of our kids to feel like they can answer every question, no hesitation. We want to teach our kids at this church to be so open minded to answering questions that in
Right.
their head, they're just ready to talk.
Because your youth ministers want you to talk. Your
Mhm,
youth deacons want you to talk.
mhm.
Your parents want you to talk. They want you to get into the class. I can guarantee you a youth minister is going to look at you and be like, I'm really proud of you that you stood up in class today and really, participated because they're not making the lesson
Mhm.
to sit there and lecture you. It's not a college. They want you to interact.
Yeah.
And so if a child is interacting or a youth member is interacting in a way that's positive, it can do nothing but benefit the class.
Mhm.
Even if your answer is wrong, you're going to learn the right answer. And that's the best thing.
I agree.
Because if your answer is wrong, now your youth minister or whoever's teaching the youth class knows, okay, they didn't know that. They need to learn the correct answer. And that's always good.
Yeah. I definitely think that the teacher would rather you say something like answer a question incorrectly because then you have these kids are going to have an opportunity to learn and the teacher's going to have an opportunity to expand on maybe where they don't feel like they explained it correctly the first time. I know I don't know about how you feel, but as I've taught in classes, when a kid doesn't understand and they ask me or they say the answer incorrectly, I would much rather re explain it than they sit quietly and just go on thinking what they think. You want to help those kids. And so we're just going to make sure that it's an interactive experience, that they're still feeling like they're still in a elementary, beginning of middle school class, but it's preparing them. We're going to give them the resources, the tools. We've laminated a bunch of stuff. It's going to be like fill out notes that they can take to worship, that they can practice their skills with the sermon. Um, so many things, dry erase markers, just making little things that get them excited for worship also. Because if you're going to be in these older classes, you're going to want to like be interactive, not interactive, but you're going to want to engage with the lesson in the auditorium too.
Mhm.
And the best way to know how to do that is to be taught that. And so I think this is going to be such a unique experience. I hope these kids love it. We're going to have a small age group this year, just because of how the numbers fell. But I'm really excited. If for some reason this sparks anybody's attention, or y'all love the idea of this and you want help starting this up, or even if you're doing a rotation and you're like, okay, how do you make it more advanced? Reach out to us, either this email up here or the Anchor Networks email, because the goal is to eventually have this curriculum onto the Anchor Networks. I'm gonna make a book out of it and have a resource available for that also. So be on the lookout for that, because this is not a closed off curriculum that we're going to put together. We're making this to share so that y'all can prepare your kids that you teach at church also.
We're really excited about it too
Yeah.
because all we really want is to help the kids.
Mhm.
We want them to be more engaged. It's a lot easier to get a child to want to be baptized if they're actually paying attention to the
Mhm.
biblical stuff versus, a K through second grade class. They get the lesson and then they get the crafts. And
Mhm.
what are they worried about? And we've experienced it because at the end of the class we go, "What'd you learn about today?" And they go,
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh, Slinkies, or whatever. And we're like, no, what are we going to tell our parents? We learned about
Yes.
the brass serpent. That's what we did last week.
I did.
And so I got to teach that class. I was very excited
He
to
did.
teach
He did a
that
great
class.
job. We look how proud he is. He did such a good job. We love the opportunity that we get to help these kids grow in their spiritual path, because as a teaching in a Bible class for kids, you honestly learn a lot as the teacher. You're studying, but also you're learning with the kids, and it's an amazing experience. I was gonna say something about what we did. Oh, no, seriously. At the end of every lesson, I'm like, okay, it's my quote of the night, and they know it's coming. All right, when your parents ask what you learned about in class, what you gonna tell them? And I'm like, if your answer's silly, we have to redo the whole lesson. And all of a sudden, they're racking their brain trying to figure out what we talked about. And I'm like, so y'all gonna be listening? And as the quarter goes on, they start picking up on the fact that you should probably listen. So we don't do the lesson again. I've never actually had to do the lesson again. I just like messing with them.
They remember. They just
Yeah.
keep it in the back of their heads. And that's really how knowledge works anyway. But what else we have to talk about? We got some fun merchandise facts.
So we got some fun things coming up, but I think I'm gonna make them go to the next episode. What you think?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna end this episode here. Whoa, I just breathed so hard into the microphone.
Here.
I'm gonna move on. We're gonna cut this episode off here. We've been going for 18 minutes. Tune in to the next episode. We're gonna post both of these today. We're just gonna try to get some content out for some really fun exposure updates. So yeah, thank you for tuning in.
We appreciate it very much.
Sorry we've been gone so much.
Yeah, we would love the feedback of the classes. See what you guys
Absolutely.
think.
Let us know what you think. Let us know if you want any of the resources. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, confusions, email me right there. We love you guys, and we'll see y'all in the next episode of Beautifully You.